Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel if you're a returning watcher, and a warm welcome to those who might be new to my channel. Thank you for popping in and seeing what I'm going to get up to today. First up, I wanted to show this piece that I worked on in last Friday's video with the Tatty Treasure digitals. So I was working with an envelope and made this little flip out pockety thing. So I had the pocket here with the digitals, which I filled with a little tag there and a little tag or a bigger tag up the top. So I did that all on camera, and I had the base of this done, but off camera I ran out of time. So off camera I completed decorating this just with a few bits and pieces, some stamped images, a tag from one of the digitals which I just cut the tag top off of to turn it into like a label, bit of book page, yeah. And then on the inside, so this is our window for our window envelope. On the inside I used a bit of digital, just a scrap to make a little pocket, another tag that I cut the tag top off of, and then one of the tags, larger tags from a digital, I just backed and popped it in the pocket so that the pretty flower, oh, trying to get it back in straight, come on, work well. I'm all fingers and thumbs. My hands are cold. I've just lit the fire. So the pretty flowers show through the window there. And that is going to go on the edge of a page in a journal, like so. So this will be opening out, and you can write here, pull the tag out obviously. And then this side, I was kind of stuck between whether I use it for writing or a pocket. In the end I've decided I'll use it as a pocket, so I'll glue top and bottom and then slide something else in there. So that's from last week, and I just wanted to show how it turned out all finished up, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's super pretty and very, very usable. Okay, so today's project, I was doing a bit of cleanup and came across this, a work time logbook. I'd picked this up for free from a junk store. It's never been used. It's like entirely complete, although I have now ripped some pages out. And I had never used it, and I thought, okay, I need to start using it and find out ways of using it. It is super thin paper, like really, really thin paper, much thinner than copy paper, so very thin. And it comes in triplicate, so there's no carbon, but it does, so if you write on this it will show through on both the other two layers. And I have tested it, and if you write on each layer off of like somewhere else, it won't transfer through to any other paper, which I found quite interesting. So I've got these triplicate forms. I have ripped some out because I found that the white copy is not perforated. It's designed to stay in the book, so I had to rip them out and then trim the tops to tidy them up. So I've already ripped out a couple of things out of there. Now this, you get these in lots of different styles for all different purposes, you know, logging, all sorts of logbooks. This one is to log hours worked and rest times, particularly for like truck drivers where they're limited to how many hours they're allowed to drive, that sort of thing. But I really like this almost like ruler type detail down here with the numbers, and then the number here stamped. I just think super cool. So time to have a play. So I'm going to grab out one of these sets, and I've had a wee think about what I want to do, and I think I've got a cool little idea. We shall see how it plays out. And I'm going to decorate with the Tatty Treasure digitals that are available on Patreon. So first off, I am going to make a little, like a library pocket or a coin pocket, something along those lines. So I'm just going to fold the two ends in together with a little bit of overlap. Might do a little bit more overlap actually. And the beauty of this paper, because it's so thin, it doesn't bulk up your journal. So you can certainly back it. If you're worried that it's too flimsy, then just go ahead and back it with something. but I'm going to use it as is, and it will be decorated, so that will add a little bit of weight to it. But I really like the fact that it's so light, and it's going to be really soft and not take up too much room in a journal. Yeah, so I'm going to lose this little rulery bit on the side, which is okay because we've got 2 other sheets. So I'm going to make a loaded ephemera pocket type thing. Right, so this is our little bottom flap. And yes, I need to cut the corners off. I was thinking, what am I doing? I need to cut the corners off. A nice little scrap to go somewhere. And I'm choosing to use the pink one for this, but you could use whichever one. I think I'll pop it down that way so that we've got the number and this work time logbook. Now, it depends which way you want to do it. If you want to glue it down, then you're going to lose this detail, and that's fine. You can decorate it up, or you can decorate up this side and glue this side down, or you can leave it floating so it just tucks into a pocket and you get it all. I love things that have options, don't you? Okay, so I'm going to fold down the top, and this is going to reinforce the top for us. Make it a bit stronger, hopefully that's straight. And I'm just going to take a little chink. I could cut off these side bits, but because it's very thin, I'm going to leave the side bits and glue them down. And I'm just going to take a little triangle off the creases so that it folds nicely, but that we've got that little bit of strengthening at the top of the pocket, especially if you're going to have it floating. So rather than chop them off like we did for the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my glue stick. And I have test run some gluing options on this paper because it's so thin. So I'll go over that as well. So definitely glue stick for this is perfectly okay. Oops, I didn't quite get that. There we go. That's better. And on our bottom here, now I've got to think which way I want it. I want both to show the number and the work time logbook. So I want to go along this edge. And I want to go this edge. So this is where I would normally use like a tacky glue, a wet glue to do this. But this time I'm choosing to do it this way because it is super thin. And the bonus is you don't have any leakage to glue your pocket shut. And then again at the bottom, I'm just going to use the glue stick. And there we've got our little pocket. Now if you want to distress this, then probably before you make the pocket is a good idea. Although it's not super hard to come in and do it after the fact. And I want to punch a little thumb hole, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want that glue to dry. I know it will just gum up my punch, especially since it's super thin paper. And when I do punch it, I'll add a bit of scrap paper in behind. Oops, I just ended up with a whole lot of white paper scraps all over my floor. I pulled up a bit and it just pulled a whole lot out with it, which is a bit frustrating, but never mind. So I need that to be straight. So I'm going to pop that in there. And And is it ready? Do you think it's dry enough to punch? Actually, I should have done that before. So I'm going to use my smaller punch. I should have punched it before I glued it together so I could get the punch in there, because I can't get the large punch in. So let's go do a smaller one. My poor little broken 1-inch circle punch still works. So until it stops working or drives me nuts, I'm just going to... Oh, no, that wasn't a good idea. That wasn't a good idea at all. I didn't wait long enough. Eek, and now it's jammed. Alright, come on. This is how not to craft, people. Okay, got it out. But the paper is... Oh, there we go. Okay, well that completely just munched it, didn't it? Never mind. We'll just have the crinkles. Crinkles are okay. It's texture. And we love a bit of texture, darling. Love a bit of texture. Now where does it go? About there. It just did not cut a portion of it at all. So yes, that was a big oops. But never mind. It's okay. Put my poor punch back together. Spring on. Then the cutty bit. And pop it back in my drawer. We're not going to be needing it again, I don't think, this session. So pop my big one away. So definitely it's much easier if you punch it before you glue it together. That's what I would recommend. But yeah, let's just say we intended on that texture because it's there now. So I'm going to make the bases first and then we'll decorate. Okay, let's get rid of that bit of munched up paper as well. Trying to keep things clear as I go, because otherwise it just bugs me. Okay, so for the white one, I am going to fold it in half. Now, okay, it is slightly too wide, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit, just at the bottom of these boxes. So I'm going to trim these boxes off, and I can use that for something else, and a bit of collage or something. Because I want it to fit inside my pocket. Okay, so now I'll fold this and see how we did. Oh, trying to get it straight. Okay, let's see that it fits. Oh, and would you believe it does not? Don't know how I managed that. Let's take a little bit more off. It's only by a fraction that it doesn't fit. So, there's a little kink out here. Obviously where I tore it out, I didn't cut it straight. So that's probably the issue. So we've lost most of the 3. That's okay. We can live with that, because it's important that it fits inside our little pocket here. Okay. So now I want to fold up the bottom. I want to make sure it still pokes out the top of the pocket. So I don't want to fold it up too much. And we're going to make little pockets here on the inside. Just a little tuck spot if you like. Not very deep. Trim out that triangle out of the middle. Now for this I am using tacky glue, and it does buckle a little bit while it's wet, but when it dries fairly flat. I'm using a tacky glue, so it will depend on your glue and what it's like, but I found, because I gave a test run, that while it buckles as it's drying, it does tend to flatten out again once it's fully dry. Little bit of a pucker, but not bad at all. I thought it might be completely just horrible, but it's not. Not with this glue that I use anyway. So there we've got two little pockets on the inside, and for this we're going to turn it into a tag shape. So we would have lost that 3 anyway. So trim off the corner, flip over the corner and line it up on the other side. You've probably seen this a million times because I feel like I've said it a million times, but that's alright, just in case there's anyone who's not familiar with this wee technique. And then you get an even size and angle on your tag top. So there we've got a little pocketed tag that flips open, so you can even write on the inside as well. Bear in mind that if you want to back things, then go ahead and do so. Okay, so there's our little tag there. Now our final piece is the yellow one, and I'm just going to fold it directly in half. And I'm not sure if I want to trim this down yet or not, so I'm just going to start with folding it in half. Sorry, it might be a little tall. Whoops. Yeah, it's a little bit tall for what I would like. So again, I'm going to trim off that bottom segment. You don't need to trim it off if you don't want to. You can make it whatever size you like. Because it's quite floppy, I don't want it kind of like just falling over at the top. So there, so we've still got some height, but it's not like really tall. I'm happier with that. So I'm going to take this, my white one, and line up the edge and do the corners. So another way of doing it is take something that's already shaped and use it as a template. And then just shuffle it over. If they were the same width, I could just line it up and do both, but it's not the same width. There we go. And there we have a little pocket with a tall folded tag and a short folded tag with pockets. Isn't that cute? I think that's cute. Okay, now we need to decorate it up and make it look fun. Okay, let's start with the pocket. Now I have chosen out these flowers from the printables from Tatty Treasure, and I just need to work out which flower I would like. I quite like this one. It's got a bit damaged and been shuffled around my desk. I need to put them in a file or something so they stay nice and together. Let's cut this one out away from everything else first. And I'm not going to do a complete fussy cut, I'm just going to give it a border. Which will take less time and not bore you totally. I think I'm starting to feel the heat of the fire come across now. I've had a lovely few days where I haven't needed to light the fire or put the heater on, and apparently we're getting sort of like our first dose of winter in the next couple of days, and we're not actually in winter yet, so yay. But however, weather will weather, whether you like it or not. So yes, today I was hoping to hold off on lighting the fire, but it was like, I'm getting too cold. And I've got the heater on in the office for when I go and do some computer work later on. Warm it up for me. It's a very low wattage heater, so it needs to be on for a while to warm up the space. Otherwise, I would just freeze. By the time it actually got warm enough, I would not feel it because I'd just be chilled. And once I get chilled, it takes forever to warm me back up. I've got a condition called lipedema, and it has the effect of giving you hypothermic skin, particularly on my legs. I've got it in my legs and my arms and my abdomen. And so once it gets chilled, it just will not warm up very quickly at all. And on top of that, I've also got thyroid issues, so that makes me cold as well. So, you know, kind of struggle on the warmth front, getting warm. Right, there we go. So just a lovely little outline, which I really like. I think it very much suits it. So a bit of book page, definitely want book page. Yeah, I've got this Baudelaire poetry, and it's in English and French. So let's grab a bit of French. When's it printed? 1968. I think this copy, 1968. So not super old. Let's grab some of this French. I think the French will work really nice with the rose. I have no idea what the poem is because I haven't read the English bit at the bottom. In one of the book sales I went to recently, I picked up quite a few poetry books, which was really nice. Something like that. And then I feel like we need a little something, but let's put these down. You may have noticed I'm not distressing anything at this stage, and I'm quite happy with this. I think this doesn't need distressing. I like the look as is, the pretty pastel colours, very soft and pretty. I think will just be lovely. But I normally do distress, so I'm not even going to distress around the rose like I normally would. I'm just trying to catch some of the, oh gosh, the poem. It's quite interesting. With an eye darker and more blue, whose lewd and painful story is known to all, drags their foot heavy with precocious worries, its brow still moist with the languors of its nights. Oh my gosh. I think it looks prettier in French. Do I want to risk glue stick? Let's try it. Try not to gouge my glue stick. Think we did okay. Oh, pink on pink. I think that's super pretty. Beautiful. Love these roses, Tanya. It's Tanya from Tatty Treasure. Just beautiful. Really lovely. Okay, right. I feel like a little label or something. So I'm going to go to my labels. And I'm thinking one of these Shabby Cottage Studio ones, because there's some really small ones. I'm going to need my tweezers, I think. Excuse me for reaching. So I think one of these little baby ones. Let's try and see. Maybe they're too small for this. It's a little clock one. way. Oh, I think that's cute. That's really cute. It's little, yes, but it's just that tiny little accent, and I really like that. So just pop the rest of them back in there. Probably need that again, so I won't put it too far away from me. Oh, that's really cute. That just is really cute. And I'm just going to use tacky glue because it's quick and easy. And I must have a sip of my coffee too before it gets stone cold, because it's probably well on its way given the temperature inside. It's not fabulously warm yet. I think that's all that needs. I think that is super pretty. So, you know, I chose to decorate this side. I'm going to leave this side. I probably will keep this as floating, so the whole thing will go in a pocket in a journal. So you could pop something on the side here, or another thought, sorry for reaching again, is we could just pop a little piece of washi tape down it, and I've got this little pink daisy washi tape. Let's put a little bit of that down, just down along the seam. Just add that little touch of decoration, and it also means that it'll hold it together. If that glue stick decides to do anything weird, it's still going to stay together. So that's cute. Just that on the back. Love it. And it ties in beautifully. This is a pack of 10 washi tape I got from Kmart here in New Zealand, and I gave one roll to my mum, which is why there's a roll missing. I'm really enjoying using them actually. They're not super high quality, but there's nothing wrong with them either. Okay, so that's the pocket. Let's do this little folded one with our wee pockets. And I haven't thought about what I want on the front of this. Do we want another flower? We could go for a red flower. Well, we've still got this is a more pink and red one. What else? Got this little pink tag. Perhaps let's see if we can do something with this. So unless I say otherwise, all the digitals that I'm using are from Tatty Treasure. So like I said, where the label was from, I'll tell you if I use something else that's not from Tatty Treasure, but otherwise just assume they're all from Tatty Treasure on Patreon. So I don't have to keep saying it over and over, because it gets very boring for me and for you. So let's just have that understanding. Okay, good with you? Cool. I assume it was all affirmative. I know, I'm taking liberties, aren't I? Right, I'm starting to come up with a few ideas for what I might do with this. Okay, that, and it worked upon my slightest arteries. Really? I didn't know someone was so aware of their arteries. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, yes, liking that so far. I am wondering. Now I'm just changing my mind again. I wish I had a butterfly. I need butterflies. So I need to buy myself a digital kit of butterflies, because I've been searching for butterflies lately in my stash and I haven't really got many, and I've got one size basically of what I do have. So let's try a birdie. This one's got some pink on it. Which way does it go? That way. I think the bit of wood it's on must be angled. Oh, yes. Lovely. Love that. Oops. Must have a bit of glue somewhere. I'm sticking to things. Okay, I'm starting to stack stuff up. Yeah. Okay. It's just how it goes, isn't it? Tuck it that way. Yes, I think I want to tuck it that way because there was that white, just that white edge. So I think I'll put it down this way. Oops, pull off the cap, not the twisty bit. Helps. And this lovely, it's really pretty tag. It's got yellow and a bit of blue, bluey green sort of colour, a bit of pinky purple. It's really lovely. Very subtle colours, sort of tending towards pastel, which suits this project perfectly with the pink and yellow forms. And birdie, do I want to glue stick or... Yeah, glue stick should be okay. There's nothing there to super gouge out my glue stick if I'm careful. Particularly cutouts, I find, you know, if you cut out little white bits in amongst the fussy cut, tend to be what I catch my glue stick on. Though I have been known to gouge my glue stick on just a straight rectangle as well. Like, so easy. And I think that's probably because I get a bit complacent, because oh, it's just a rectangle, and I just go, and next minute I've got this huge clump of glue I've gouged out. Okay, that's really lovely. Do I want another wee label up here somewhere? I think I do. You know I do. Do we want the same little one? Same size, or do we want a different size? Go for one of these. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's not try anything else because I like that. We'll just go with it. And it's got Modern French Company on it, or I think it was actually country. I think the final word is country, but it reads like company because it's got the CO and then this French text. So that in my head works. I don't know about modern, but there we go. Love it. So I'm not bothered by the white space at all. I think, you know, the number, just the lines and everything, I think it's super cool. Now, I did know this would happen, that if you'd use something that's got text or a pattern or something on the back side, that it will show through the paper. It shows through less, interestingly enough, on the pink and the yellow. On the white, it definitely shows through, like you could read that. But, I mean, if you want to read it, go for it. It's a poem, and it's in French, so if you read French, great. But just be aware that, you know, if you think, well, I'll glue down that side because it's got a bad word on it and that will cover it up, it might not necessarily work the way you want to. So just bear that in mind. Okay, now for inside the pockets, I wanted to pop a few bits and pieces. Now, I did have some cut out. Where did I put them? I've got this one, but it's not the one I had cut out for this. But that's fine, we can go with that. Let's do this little bird. I don't know what I've done with the ones I had cut out already. Never mind. Let's just cut these ones out instead. I really like this top. on these tags. It's so pretty with the little curves, and it's not super hard to cut out. They're only short little curves. Just give a really nice look to the top. Should have switched back to my big scissors for this, but never mind. Too late now. Oops. Slight rounded corners at the bottom there. And so basically you can just pop a whole lot of different little bits and pieces in your pockets to be used for you, or for the person, if you're making it for sale, for the person who owns the journal, to take out and use wherever they like. So it's kind of like a bit of an ephemera folio type thing as well. I'll probably call it loaded pocket, something like that. Ephemera loaded pocket. So you can put all sorts of bits, and you don't have to like just use digitals. You can tuck in little bits of real ephemera. Maybe I'll put a little playing card in here actually. Why not? You don't have to use digitals at all. You could use whatever. So there's a couple of little tags there, a little ticket. Let's add a wee playing card. I don't want to use a joker, so we'll leave the jokers in there for now. I'll use them one day, but I like the jokers. So we'll add a little playing card in there. So there's just a few little cute bits of ephemera. Now on this side I wanted to place something bigger, and I wish I could find the one here it is, that I had pre-cut out. So there's this tag, which is also from Tatty Treasure. I wasn't going to say that, was I? And so I'm just going to tuck that bigger tag in there. Now you could back it if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it plain, and whoever has it can choose to back it or use it. It just keeps down the bulk. So you can end up putting lots of little bits and pieces in if you don't back everything. Really good if you want to post some happy mail, that you can put more in it if you don't back things, and then the person receiving it can go ahead and back things if they like. So there we go, we've got that. You could also decorate the back of this like we've done the front. Maybe we'll put some washi tape on here just to tie it all together and make it match. So let's put a bit of the same washi tape. Oops, if I can get it off the roll. And let's just put a strip along the bottom. There we go. Just a little nod towards decorating, and in the pocket it goes. Okay, how are we going on time? Oh, we're going great. That's awesome. Okay, so this final piece, and again I haven't really considered how I want to decorate this up yet. I think I need a sip of coffee while I have a little ponder. I think I want a big butt. Big butt? Is it anything like a big butt? I don't know, I'm sitting on it. A big bit is what I mean to say. And I've had trouble getting my words out lately, and I don't know why it took me so long, but I realized it's because I've got a little wound on the end of my tongue. I'm not sure whether I burnt it or bit it or both, but I've got this wee lump, and it's sore, and it kind of affects my speech. So if I stumble over words, please forgive me. It should heal hopefully soon. It's super annoying. It's not ultra painful, it's just painful enough to remind me that it's still there. And because it's not like super sore, I didn't even think that it was actually what was affecting the way I was talking. So all the little dramas of life, isn't it? Okay, I'm just looking for a bit of book page that I might want on this. We could go some numbers, couldn't we? Let's try some numbers. I was sent this in Happy Mail, and I was given a few pages of it. And I'm down to my, so when I say a few, like probably 8 pages and I'm down to my last 3. So I might have to see if I can find something like this in a second-hand shop or an op shop or something. It's quite cool. Okay, so let's just cut it off at the bottom there. Go from about there. Just want to give it a jagged edge. Yep, and I like that we've got this number over here, and it has actually been stamped in, so like it, you can feel it. It's been pressed in, which is quite cool. This is quite old brittle paper, so I just fold over my glue page so I don't end up ripping it. Now this piece I am tempted to back, but I'm not sure. We'll decorate up the front and then we'll have another consideration of whether we want to back it or not. Just because this is going to be more of a writing piece where you actually write inside it and even on the back. Okay, yes, so far so good. Now what would we like to pop on it? They're really pretty, but I don't think they're necessarily working with the colour. Sorry, I've got a pile of digitals up at the top of my desk, which I know you can't see. Probably can't see, I should say. Just looking at options. Perhaps what I need is a full page that we can tear a bit off and collage. Some pretty white roses on a blue background. Got some pink. I don't know that I want pink. I mean, that's white roses on a sort of a creamy background. That could be nice. Some roses. Oh, how about a bit of that? Let's use a bit of that. And what bit is the question? Kind of like this bit over here, the roses. I like the birds as well. The birds are really lovely, but I think definitely too wide for this, so we won't look at the birds for this. I love all the detail in this, all the text and the music, and a little garland of leaves or something. Oh, that's my doorbell. I'll have to pop you on pause just a moment. My apologies for the interruption. It was a courier dropping off something my husband had ordered. So, and it annoys me when I have to do that and go to the door during a video and find out there's a courier, because they just drop the parcel and run, and it's like there's no hurry for me to do it, but I don't know that it's a courier before I get up and check. So it's like, oh, I could have just kept on doing what I was doing, but never mind. It's okay. Not the end of the world, is it? I really want to keep this number here. I like the numbers. Okay, let's pop that there. But it did enable me to put another bit of wood on the fire, so that's a good thing. Oops, 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 come on, comply. Resistance is futile. To quote Star Trek, I love Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie. Hubby and I both really enjoy Star Trek. Oops, I've got a few bubbles in there. Let's just give it a smooth out. One of the things you need to watch with super thin paper is the gluing, that you'll end up with the paper buckling and some air bubbles if you don't smooth things down. And those bubbles I can see are actually under this paper, so it's dry now. I can't do anything about it, but it's okay. It's super thin, so writing on that doesn't really matter. It'll be fine. Okay, a word. I believe a word is in order. I haven't used a word yet today, have I? So let's see. Peaceful. That's a nice one. Courage. I like peaceful. Let's just go with peaceful. First one I saw, and I think it just, the colours match and the message is lovely, isn't it? Peaceful. Very good. And I haven't inked a single thing. Amazing. Okay, now if you did want to stamp anything, then the ink is definitely going to go straight through this paper. So bear that in mind as well. Okay, I feel like I need a round something in here. What have I got that's round that might work? I am very, very low on my interesting little bits and pieces here. I definitely need to do some more of this type of thing. Let's have a look at this. It's possibly the wrong colour. Black might be better, but I don't appear to have it in black any left, so I need a stamping session. Maybe I'll aim to do that this weekend, get some stamping done. Gee, the concentration, can you feel it? Can you feel it through the camera? I'm definitely feeling it. Here we go. I think black would be better, but I think the brown is okay too. I don't even know what it is. Is it a compass or some sort of clock? I think it's a calendar thing, because it's got like Roman numerals around the outside for time, and then it's got something else on the inside. So I think it's one of those calendar type things. I think. Not sure. But it's cool graphic anyway. And it's round, and I wanted something round. Don't know which way's up, so let's just plonk it down. There we go. Now, do I want to back it? I don't think I do. I think I just want to leave it nice and light, totally writable on in its present form. And this has got yellow in it, the centers of these flowers. So let's put another bit of this washi tape on, so that all three pieces tie together. So let's pop it at the top. I'm just going to trim off the little bits of overhang. Actually, that gave me an idea. It did. I want to put a strip down the middle. Just because I can. Oops. Just straight down the middle, straight down the fold. Fold it back up, and then I'm going to get that little bit out of the V. There we go. So we've got that little bit, and you can write, perfect, awesome, happy with that. And then we tuck it back in here with our other pieces of ephemera, or other piece. And we've got our flowers poking up, which tie in beautifully, don't they? There we go, guys. There is my loaded ephemera pocket made with triplicate logbook forms. Super thin, lightweight. You could easily post that. Have I got an envelope? Okay, here's a standard size envelope. You could trim down this a bit more so that it fits in just a standard postage envelope, and it would just be very lightweight. So there we go, a fun idea. I hope you enjoyed this. I had fun making it, and I love how thin it is. I normally don't go for thin, but I think there is a time and a place for thin. So there we go, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, whatever you get up to. I hope it's a great one. Thanks for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you back again soon. Bye.